Starfield Direct, and while I thought they were good, I wasn't exactly wowed.
Cope harder.
Specifically, something about Starfield didn't grab me as much as I had hoped. Now, I'm sure people are already rushing to the comments to spam horrible mean things and say Sony Pony and probably say,
oh my gosh.
Humanity has always hunted
The least anticipated game of the year.
Unknown.
Here we go.
The Xbox showcase happened, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm pretty tired, by the way, if you couldn't already tell. But anyway, Xbox showcase was cool. They showed, they basically said, remember all those games that we announced like years ago and never fucking like mentioned ever again? Here's information on some of them. You know, they showed Fable, which looked pretty cool. They showed Avowed, which looked fucking awesome. Actually, basically, what this showcase did was solidify Xbox's position as like the platform for Western RPGs, if you don't have a PC, of course. It also showed a bunch of other cool games. Essentially, it was a success. It was a very good showcase. So obviously, PlayStation fanboys, who just had a terrible PlayStation showcase, are fucking pissed off. J-Dub has been like tweeting or retweeting every hour since the event up until now, which is like 2 days later. Every hour something about why Starfield sucks, and Dreamcast guy similarly has been putting out video after video about why the Direct sucked and why PlayStation is better, essentially. It's fucking hilarious the cope these guys are inhaling. Also, watch this video real quick. It's very funny.
Hit that like, subscribe, the notification button.
Hey fellas, I'm about to get ready to drop out.
All right, no doubt, Jay.
I'm gonna get ready to drop out, go to another show. Salute to all y'all brothers, man. Appreciate it. Great show.
Bless. What's your number you gave the show? Because I gave the PlayStation 3 a 3.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to Bethesda Game Studios.
So you only give it one more than the PlayStation show, because you gave the PlayStation show a 7.
Yeah, because they didn't show the graphical stuff that I wanted to see that was going to compete with God of War, The Last of Us.
Yeah, so that was J-Dub watching the showcase, realizing it's awesome and completely destroys anything that Sony, you know, did in their showcase. And then the second that like the Starfield part of the showcase begins, he's out, he has to leave. He's got plans, right? He's got plans that are totally not related to the fact that, you know, PlayStation is being destroyed by Xbox right now when it comes to these showcases. And J-Dub, as someone who is a completely rational, normal human being, is definitely not emotionally invested in this way too much. That's not the reason why he's leaving. I also love that he made like his background the review score for Redfall, only to have the showcase be fucking awesome. I still think it's funny that how like even as he leaves he has to jab at Xbox a little bit, like, yeah, it's a bit better than the PlayStation showcase, but you know, they didn't show anything that is better than God of War or Spider-Man. Dude, so many of the games they showed can definitely directly compete with God of War and Spider-Man. Like, I'm sorry, but like third-person action RPG with stealth elements isn't that interesting anymore, guys. It's not 2011 anymore.
Todd Howard has confirmed that the Xbox Series X/S consoles can't run Starfield at 16 frames per second, so they locked at 30 FPS to ensure consistency of performance. How the fuck 12 teraflop console can't run Starfield at 60 FPS? LMAO! 120 FPS game, 9 teraflop console versus 30 FPS game, 12 teraflop console.
Okay, so there's a lot of issues with this tweet. First of all, Horizon Forbidden West doesn't run at 120 FPS, it runs at 60. I don't know why he says 120, it doesn't. Then there is the fact that he uses these images, right, to show how a 120 FPS game looks better than a 30 FPS game. Although the problem here is you can't see FPS on still images, so I don't know why he's showing them. Then there's the third problem, which is maybe the most obvious. This is what a lot of PlayStation fanboys do. They take a very high quality picture of a PlayStation game and then they compare it to like a low-res zoomed-in picture of an Xbox game. Like, that's even comparable. I can do the same thing with Starfield and Forbidden West. Now, here you go. Look at how good Starfield look, and look at how bad Forbidden West look, guys. Also, I don't really see what teraflops have to do with frame rate. That might just be me, because teraflops are a very weird unit of measurement that it does mean something. It's just I'm too stupid to remember what it means. But I don't think it's a good way to like measure if a console should be able to run a game at like 60 FPS.
I'll just leave you with this. I informed you some time ago that Sony SIE First Party Studios, which I shall not name, has been developing a PlayStation 5 sci-fi space epic for approximately 5 years, and it's a cross-studio collaboration including famed ex-dev.
I'm guessing that's Xbox developers.
We'll likely learn more in 2024.
This is the biggest cope I have ever seen, so quite obviously none of this is true. He's even like, I shall not name the studio that's making this, but you best believe they exist. It's very clearly like, I'm upset I'm not getting Starfield, so I'm going to lie about the fact that I'm getting a similar game on my preferred platform. Because I am like emotionally fragile and insecure about the success of a plastic box I bought, I guess.
Xbox has been dick slapped for a decade, and now that you have a No Man's Sky clone that seems to be worth a damn, you want to act smart with hashtag lol get fucked Gaz.
And then Gaz, I don't really know who Gaz is, but he comes back with the receipts. Because like we all know, PlayStation fanboys are in fact desperate to play Starfield, and they were all incredibly excited for Starfield, including this guy, up until the point that it was no longer available for PlayStation, right? Then the game sucked, magically, right? Suddenly, all interest was lost. I don't want to play this game, it's just a No Man's Sky clone. But then still also at the same time trying to cope by pretending there was a similar game coming out for PlayStation. Like, these fanboys are crazy, man. Like,
boo, Sony has a better 2023.
now don't get me like wrong, but none of those games even come close to Starfield, I think, in hype level. The only one that maybe comes close is Final Fantasy 16, but even then I haven't seen that much hype about it, like I would have seen for games like Zelda, but that could also be because I'm personally don't really care about the game, so maybe less of it shows up on my timeline. I've still have PlayStation fanboys, especially now, talking a lot about it, but we'll get to that later. And my guy included Helldivers 2. Now, don't get me wrong, Helldivers 1 was a fun game. You know, it's pretty good. Is Helldivers 2 as big as a new Fable game? Is it as big as a new RPG by Obsidian? Is it as big as Starfield? No, it's not. Okay, these three games, I don't know, like they're gonna be good, they're gonna be fun, but they're nowhere near like the same like hype level.
All quantity but no quality.
Yeah guys, first Xbox sucked because it has no games, and now that it has quite a few games, it still sucks because those games aren't good. You know, like this guy's probably never played any of these games, and a lot of them aren't out yet, so you can't really judge them. But they're bad because they're not on PlayStation and they have the Xbox logo on it. That's how it works. That's not a retarded, pathetic way of thinking about it at all.
I was told that the Xbox's SSD was the end of loading. Maybe that was too ambitious as well.
What is he doing? Is he trying to like flip the script? I've never heard anybody talk about Xbox's SSD and how amazing it is. It's always been PlayStation fanboys to say, oh, the PlayStation SSD is so powerful, it's so amazing. PlayStation games can't even run on other systems that don't have the SSD, which turned out to be complete bullshit as expected, because, you know, Ratchet & Clank, which is one of the games that quote-unquote couldn't run without the SSD, is coming to PC now, so clearly it can. And also, I don't think Starfield having loading screens when entering buildings is like that bad of a thing. Seems pretty standard to me. Like, now something I have to mention in this video is that during the Xbox showcase there was really only one disappointing thing about it, and that was the announcement that Starfield was going to be locked at 30 FPS on Xbox Series X and S. And suddenly after that announcement, PlayStation fanboys were really vehemently against games being in 30 FPS, even though they were fully in support of that shit like even a couple months ago. Right now, it's no longer okay, and it's laughable for a game to run at 30 FPS, which I agree with. It's just, they care about it now only because Starfield only runs at 30 FPS. It's the only thing they talk about, right? They pretend like the entire showcase didn't happen except for the announcement that the game is at 30 FPS. It's honestly so pathetic. Like I said, J-Dub is constantly retweeting and tweeting things about Starfield. If you go to his page, it's just constantly like tweets about like how Starfield is 30 FPS, because there's nothing else he can make fun of, because the showcase was fucking fantastic. The only other thing they talk about, PlayStation Fanboys on Twitter right now, is Final Fantasy 16. Like, they're pretending like that's the best thing ever made, and no game shown at the Xbox showcase can even like compete with it. Like, you probably saw it already during like me scrolling through J-Dub's Twitter. He fucking retweets. It's the only other thing he retweets. It's people clowning on Starfield being 30 FPS and people praising the new Final Fantasy game.
Nothing showed at the Xbox showcase looked this good. 11 more days.
Like, we all know why they are praising and hyping up this game so much suddenly, right? It's obvious. Like, if this game was an Xbox exclusive, they'd be shitting all over it. If this game was multi-plat, they'd probably be maybe mildly interested in it. Maybe. But the only reason they care this much is because it's like one of the very few PlayStation exclusives that are going to come out this year that actually looks somewhat good. Right? It's pathetic, it's sad, it's whatever, man. I'm kind of done. I'm done. I'll make another video about this. I wanted to make another video about Amazing Lucas's, specifically his reaction to the Starfield trailer, because it was fucking hilarious. Like, the cope, the salt is insane. But for now, guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.